behalf of KarnaticLessons.com, I am super happy as we have a special guest today with us, Guru Pashupati Ji. Welcome.
Namaste.
So, Pashupati Ji has learnt the art of yoga from great masters, and he has lived in Himalayas, and I can't believe that I'm sitting next to him, and he's agreed, and he's doing an interview for all our students and other music friends, and I'm really happy, sir. Thank you so much for doing this.
It's my pleasure.
So, Pashupati Ji has been in the corporate world, and his communication skills are just amazing. The way he speaks, and I watched many of his videos, and I'm so happy he's sharing all the knowledge which he has learned from great masters in Himalayas. Can you tell your transformation, how you were in the corporate scene and you were running a company, I believe?
Yes.
And then from there, what happened?
I started my journey in entrepreneurship when I was a child.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a child prodigy entrepreneur.
Wonderful. So this is great for all the entrepreneurs out there. Yeah.
So I started my first company when I was 13, and around 13 itself, I had met my guru.
Wow.
And he had come in a very strange form, and I had a lot of stammering when I was a kid. You
Wow.
can't tell now, right?
Yeah.
But when I was a
You
kid,
speak so fluently. Oh my God.
yeah, it's the blessings of my teachers, I should say, that they trained me in how to overcome that. But when I met my teacher, I was being bullied for this very stammering.
Wow,
So
wow.
I was beaten up so bad that one day I prayed to Shiva. I said, really, is this okay? Like, how can you, I mean, I was angry with Shiva.
Yeah.
I was like, you have to send me either knowledge, or you have to send me the power to get me out of this. I'm not asking you to come and save me, but I want to be able to do it myself. Why am I not that powerful? Why can't I stand up to these guys? Because there were a lot of them, and they were all older than me. So I was crying, and when I looked up, there was this person standing with a shining forehead. I'm like, who are you? And he said, nah, I'm just a watchman here. I work in this office, and I saw what happened. You put up a good fight. If you want to, I'll teach you how to fight.
Wow.
And that's how my journey started into spirituality, because the kind of fighting he taught me was something really different. It wasn't anything that I was learning in my karate school, because I had already won state tournaments, but the street kids would beat me up. So
Wow.
then he started to teach me. It was a very strange journey where he made me to fight random people by going up to them and just spitting in their face, because I couldn't say anything. He said, go say something to offend them. I said, can't say, because I stammer. I stammer even more when I'm stressed. So he said, no problem, just go spit in their face. They'll get angry enough with you. And that's
crazy.
how he started training me. So it was bizarre.
So he trained you in martial arts, and that's how you found.
He trained me a little bit on some basic stuff, like how to cause pain to people. And then he wanted me to go and practice it.
Wow.
So he always taught me that it's not enough to have theoretical knowledge. You need to go and apply. So I fought with more than 300 people. I had several really bad injuries, including a spinal dislocation, which he would fix later.
Amazing. Amazing.
And then suddenly, as mysteriously as he came, he vanished. Nobody knew where he's gone. They couldn't find him. His employer wasn't able to find him. And I was like, wow, Guru came and went out of my life. Now what do I do? So I was now armed with this amazing ability to fight.
And you not knowing what to do
Not
with
knowing
it.
what to do with it.
Yeah.
So yes, that's right. And I did all sorts of wrong things with it. Until, but I guess he wanted to see if I'm standing up for righteous things. And that is exactly what I did.
Wow.
I never misused this power to dominate people. So when he saw that, I think he got pleased, and then he came to me again when I was 18.
Wow.
And this time I was already an entrepreneur running. That was the time of the dot-com boom. So that would be like 1998.
Wow.
Around then.
Yep. That's
In India, it was like crazy money flowing everywhere. So I was busy cashing in on it, because I'm an 18-year-old.
Wow.
What
Wow.
else do I want to do?
Yeah.
So I was doing that, and like we were making like some graphic user interface stuff.
Wow.
And since there were no experts in that domain, everybody used to come to us.
Wow.
And so I, with a bunch of artist friends, was able to run this, and we made a lot of money then. What happened next was, when he came when I was 18, there was something I was doing. I had practiced to hold my breaths for long periods of time, and then I was very curious, what happens if I refuse to breathe and I overcome that reflex to breathe? What happens? Because I would feel changes in consciousness as I was holding my breath. So I would hold my breath for up to 7 minutes or 8 minutes, something like that.
Oh my
I
God.
had really big lungs even then. I used to be a wrestler, so I had really big shoulders even then, when I was 18 as well. So I could hold my breath for long periods of time. And then I held my breath one day beyond the threshold. I said, I just want to see what's on the other side. And I found myself totally outside my physical body, watching my body from outside. But I have no form. And I'm feeling blissful. I'm feeling, I don't know, some happiness that is not of this earth. Okay?
Wow.
So at that time, the bell rang, and I found myself being dragged back into my body.
Amazing.
And
This we have seen this after after life experiences. There, near death experiences.
But I
Sorry,
didn't feel
ND
dead.
they call there,
I
and
felt very much there. I didn't
Yeah.
feel like I was dead. I just
Huh.
felt like my consciousness came out of my body and it had no form.
Wow.
So I was sure about that, and then I was like, yeah, if this is death, then I'm okay. I can handle it because you're still conscious, even
Yeah,
even
yeah.
though you've left your body.
Yeah.
But I came back into the body. I just got sucked in.
Huh.
And then it was very painful because I'd held my breath for a long time. My fingertips were blue, and I was breathing with a lot of gasps to get more oxygen inside. And I made it to the door. My father had opened the door, and he was standing there, my guru, and in his original form, with the long matted hair. And I was stunned by the sight, and my father was like, "Whatever you're selling, I'm not buying." he had that energy. My father, he's like,
Okay.
"What is this intrusion in my home?"
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And he called me. He said, "You come here," and then he gave me a rudraksh, and then he said, "You will you will have a lot of power to do good, but you have to really find empathy with those you help."
Wow.
Something like that. He's not speaking.
Yeah.
I'm hearing these words inside. He's just looking at me. And there's this whole bunch of information that came in. And later that night, in a dream, I could unwrap everything that he said.
Wow.
Because he just came for a few seconds, looked, gave me the rudraksh, smiled, and went away. And that's it. And then I was like, wow, what is this? And in the dream, I'm talking with him, and I could really understand everything he was saying. He said, you have a lot of power to do good, but you don't have the empathy to do good.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, what is that? I don't know what
That's
he's talking
because
about.
of this martial art training, because you were fighting, and
Yeah,
maybe, right?
because everything he taught me was yoga even then.
Okay. Okay.
So I used to train differently from those who are training in my martial arts school at any given time. And, when I was learning Krav Maga, for example, they said if you're late by a second, you have to do, the whole class does one push-up. If you're late by a second. If you're late by 10 seconds, the whole class does 10 push-ups. And then one guy came 35 minutes late. So that's like 35 into 60. That many push-ups. 2,000 something, or 1,800 or something.
Oh my
like that.
goodness.
Almost 2,000. I did it. I was the only one who could do it. And my teacher was like, that's not normal. And then he said, so where did you learn that? I said, it's an ancient martial art. I learned it from my guru in the mountains. And he said, yeah, but can you defend against Krav Maga? I said, I don't know. Why don't you attack me? So he went for it. And I just spat in his face, because what I was doing all since my childhood.
Yeah.
And he got so disgusted. I took him down, slammed his head to the floor. I told him, I could have killed you. and he said, yeah, that's right. And then he made me the Krav Maga instructor for Aghora without even, I didn't have to finish my certification.
Wow.
They sent me there.
Wow.
Then I joined another organization, and with them I was training the Navy commandos. So that's the
Amazing.
kind of knowledge that I have in martial arts, but without the compassion and without the understanding of empathy, which the understanding that empathy brings, I wasn't able to do any good in the world.
Oh.
So I just didn't know how to help people because I don't have empathy. I'm not bothered. I'm like that. That's so weak. Why would you feel that way? You know, that's what I used to think. And it was such a big handicap for me, that thing, that attitude that people are just drama queens. That attitude.
Yeah.
It was very costly for me.
Yeah.
So I ended up really wanting to help people, but I didn't know how to help them at all. And for 13 years, I tried various ways to help people.
Yeah.
And I went through many life experiences. Babaji almost brought me to a death, near death, many times.
So the Guruji you're talking is
Mahavatar
Baba
Baba
Ji,
Ji, yeah,
the
yeah.
legendary.
The legend who was in the autobiography of a yogi.
Yeah,
He's immortal.
that's the great book which even Steve Jobs gifted for. That's what I have heard. That book was life changing, and he used to gift it.
It is an amazing book. It documents the journeys not only of Mahavatar Babaji, but encounters, sorry, not journeys, but encounters with various amazing yogis of the Himalayas who still exist even today.
And that's the same Mahavatar Babaji came to you, and that's your Guruji.
Yeah, yeah.
So that we are so blessed and fortunate to learn some of his teachings, which you're willing to pass it on for.
For sure, because that's what I'm now doing. I learned the basic rules.
So how did this empathy thing? How did it came to you? What did you do?
So some observation about communication.
Huh.
You can't communicate to somebody who isn't listening, right?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
you have to complete the thought in their mind for you to be able to get their attention, and that's what advertisers do.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
yeah.
we got to do it too.
Yeah.
If we want to teach yoga, then we have to complete the thought that's running in someone's mind. And
Yeah.
that was something, a key understanding. And then I need to know what's in someone's mind. So I need to use my mirror neurons to read all the sensory information, not just visual, but their voice, the modulation of their voice.
It's possible. It's amazing.
It
that
happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we do it naturally as children, but we lose that ability because we start getting focused on words.
Yeah.
And then we say, if somebody claims to be a certain word, like if somebody is saying that they're my friend, for example, then I already expect certain behavior from there instead of observing what's going on with him.
Yes.
So that's when we start feeling that people have done wrong to us because we're not tuned in to what's exactly going on with them. But the signs are there all along. People ignore the red flags in toxic relationships.
Yeah.
And it's because of lack of empathy. They don't know what's
So
happening.
when we talk about toxic relationships, I have watched one of your videos where some of the things you say was just amazing. You said like you should never stay in a place where you're not being valued.
Yeah.
That was like a very key lesson for me. Like you don't stay in a place where you're not being valued, and those things like you say now.
I mean, I would say there are several laws of communication, right? Communication is what is received. If you're transmitting something and it isn't being received, that's disrespect.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
this is
then
something
you don't
great
wanna
lesson.
You don't want to stay there unless the situation improves, and you can talk about it. And if it's well received, then good. That relationship improves immediately. But if you can't even talk about it, that relationship is dead.
Absolutely. I recently want to share one of the things which I learned from one of my entrepreneur guru. So he says like, your message should be so good that you should not be banging on the market, asking them to wake up and listen to you. Your message they should come to you.
Correct.
The message.
That's the
should be
thing.
like
Complete their thoughts. They're already thinking something. You need to know what they're thinking. And you reframe that thought. You take it to another place where you want to go.
This is such a valuable lesson which all of you should learn, and amazing. And Guruji, you learned all this from the Mahavatar Baba Ji, and then usually when people learn all this great secrets of yoga and spirituality, they always go inward. But what made you that you are out there to share it with all of the world, right? You have been teaching. What is that? Because I've seen many great people. They go to Himalayas and that's it. They're gone. They take the knowledge and somewhat selfish in what we see because they acquire all the knowledge and they don't share it with all the universe. the
Yeah.
world. But
I'd like
you have
to
been
share something that my guru said, and I think this is very important to understand that knowledge is to be shared.
amazing,
It's not to
amazing.
be held, it's not to be withdrawn, it's to be given when the student is ready. But when they
Amazing.
show that when they show that they're ready, when they show that they have that potential to learn it, if you hold it back, it's a sin by the guru.
Oh my God, this is just amazing. Yeah,
Gurus
yeah,
also
yeah.
can make sins, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not the
yeah.
student who's on the line
Yeah, yeah,
always.
yeah,
Both are
yeah,
accountable.
yeah.
So,
It's like you are not giving the food needed for somebody. Like it's like,
like if I'm a guru and I save that knowledge only for my son and I don't teach it to someone else, that's absolute injustice. Because
Yeah.
if somebody is more deserving, if you don't give it to him, you lose Saraswati.
Wow,
Saraswati's
this is
blessings. You lose
amazing.
Saraswati's
So
blessings.
this is here a great tip for all the teachers and students. Some of the students also teach the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
students
yeah,
and all that.
yeah.
So if you withdraw and if you withheld information like knowledge, that's a sin coming from a
You can withhold from someone who's not ready. But
exactly.
if they are ready and you're not doing it, that's immediately wrong.
Purposefully, if you're not sharing it, thinking that that's like a sin. Oh
It
my
is,
God,
it is.
that's
And you should never be afraid to share knowledge with your students because you have to build a culture where they will not misuse it.
exactly. And this is the why we have built this kineticlessons.com, where everybody, I want to share all the music knowledge which I've learned from various teachers over a period of 40 years of learning. And I want to give it all. And if the student is really willing to take it, it should be available to them.
Now, who
That's what
taught you
we
this? You're in touch with your own natural conscience. And you
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
this is what you have to do.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
you do it.
No, I went through a lot of hardship, Guruji, learning this art form of divine art. I'm so blessed. I learned from many great teachers, but I want to share it with all of the music students who want to
Absolutely.
learn.
That's the
And
right attitude. That's
yeah.
when Saraswati will still ride on you.
exactly.
She
Thank
sits
you
here
so
on the
much.
throat.
Thank you so much.
She
Yeah.
sits here in the throat chakra, and there's a swan here. And
Wow.
those who are blessed by Saraswati, she sits on their tongue.
Wow. Can you also please share all the what you're teaching and how people can reach? I know you have a lot of huge following. Guruji has a huge following on Instagram and YouTube. A lot of his videos are really he shares, and so many of his teachings are available. Can you share how people can find you and what are the
Yeah.
things they can learn from you?
Yeah, sure. So, when we talk about spirituality itself, it's important to understand that there's no spirituality without spirit. So, there is three parts in the world. There is the energy field, there is energy itself, which is the ability to do work, the transmission of energy that can be measured. That's energy. But we can also measure something called an energy field, like a magnetic field, the strength of a
Amazing,
magnetic
amazing.
field.
I think that the Tesla said this something like this. He was like the great scientist Tesla said
Yeah,
like
yeah.
everything is energy, frequency, and vibration.
Correct.
Everything you can, and this is exactly you're
Yeah,
saying
so
too.
when he says frequency and vibration, he's talking about matter and energy.
Wow. Yeah.
So matter and energy is just a frequency. So a rod of steel is a certain frequency of energy, really. That's what it is. It's trapped energy, which is matter, and it's holding a certain form. And that's because of the energy field around it. So the energy field is a dynamic thing that can change shape.
Amazing.
And what shape and size and quality it changes, the matter and energy inside it will get influenced and changed too.
Amazing.
So that is spirituality. To understand that invisible energy field, we call it sukshma. So it is subtle, and it is the invisible world to a person trapped in ordinary consciousness. And what I mean by ordinary consciousness is that they're occupied with a very small life story. We call it itihasa.
Yeah, just get a go to good college, get a good job, get married,
It's a
have
philosophy,
kids.
isn't it? This is a
Yeah,
philosophy.
this is the standard
This
route.
is called mrita darshana,
Oh my God.
the
yeah.
philosophy of death.
Because this is what is everybody does and everybody follows and this thing, and this is Mrita Darshana.
Because everybody dies at the end of it.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And when I asked my guru what is death, and he said it's sheer irresponsibility. You've gotten this immortal body, and you follow Mrita Darshana, and you kill yourself. It's slow suicide. He said everybody's committing slow suicide. Everyone alive is either immortal or dying. Immortal or mortal.
Yeah.
So why do we say someone is immortal when their cells are healing faster than they decay? So children are like that, they're immortal. Until a certain age where their healing becomes less than the decay, and that's when they start
And
aging.
then they
That's-
walk towards death. Yeah.
That's when they walk towards death. So if our healing continues always higher than the aging or the damage, we'll become immortal.
And that's how all the siddhas and the sages in the caves of Himalaya, we hear stories, right? They live for 100 years, 200 years.
Tirumular lived for 3,000 years. He would open his eyes on, I mean, he's still alive.
Wow.
He would open his eyes on every Shivratri and say 2 lines of yoga and he'd go back. And for generations, people documented what he was saying, and that is called Tirumandiram.
Tirumandiram. So Tirumular is a great Siddhar, and he wrote the Tirumandiram.
So the Siddhas are of 2 types. One is the Tamil Siddhas, and then there are the Himalayan Siddhas who spoke Sanskrit.
Wow.
So Babaji is initiated both in the Tamil Siddha lineage from Agastya himself. Babaji is from Tamil Nadu.
Wow.
Yeah, he's from a
Many
place-
don't know this, right? They all think he's North India. North Indian.
There's a temple at his place of birth. It's called Parangipette. It was constructed by S.A.A. Ramaya,
Oh.
one of his students.
Yeah.
So that temple is very exact place where he was born. It's a very powerful spot.
Wow.
And if you go to Tamil Nadu, you should visit.
Yeah.
So-
Another interesting fact to all the students who are movie fans, I think Rajnikant also follows
Baba,
this
that
Babaji.
film, what was it called? It was called Baba?
He made a movie also
He made a
on
movie
Baba.
called Baba,
And
about
he
Babaji.
follows Mahavatar Baba Ji's
That's right, that's
teachings
right.
and all that
That's
Kriya
right.
Yoga, right?
Yes.
Amazing. And this is an opportunity, great opportunity for people that he's teaching all this, which he has learned from great masters. And you've been teaching this online too, right? Can you share a little bit how
Yeah,
you...
so online is the only way where you can learn this because right now people are in a really sorry state of health.
Yes.
So
yes.
you need to first build
Like
up
you
your-
said, because we follow the Mrita Drashana,
Yes,
which is
yes,
really
yes,
bad.
yes. The healing has stopped in their body. So they need to get that healing going again. And that's really the first step. That's what the 64-day challenge does. And it does it through changing the energy field, not through changing your diet or anything.
Amazing,
Yeah.
amazing, yeah.
So
yeah.
that is the very amazing thing that's happened. My students start sleeping better, they start healing, aches and pains from years are gone.
So you have seen miracles happen, like people...
Every day.
Wow, 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 amazing, amazing. I can't wait to do the course myself, and I'm sure many of you might be interested in learning more about this. I will share a link downstairs which you can watch. And also coming to sadhana, you know, many of my music students, they all want to do better, or whatever they are doing. A lot of them are entrepreneurs, and a lot of them have their own startups and stuff. So what advice you want to give it to them? Like, they want to do better in what they are doing, but they ignore on all of this, like taking care of their diet, taking care of their body, because they're working towards some massive goal which they have for them, which they think that that's the massiveness, but ignoring all of the important ones they want in life. So what is the
Well,
advice?
the massive thing is your spiritual side. What you have as a physical, anything physical you consider massive, like the earth, there's nothing in front of the energy field that
Wow.
the universe is made up of.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, so when we think that our small goals are massive, that's the problem, because the plans that divinity has for us is very different, and we're able to realize it when we tune into our own divine nature. So we are called Maya. The divinity is Mahamaya. As a jiva, you are Maya. You can create your own energy field and your own version of reality. Everybody has it. People used to talk about Steve Jobs and then the universe that happens as soon as you enter his presence.
Wow.
And the reason is that he was really tuned into that vision. He was looking into invisible stuff and the future. That
Amazing, amazing.
and we
yeah.
need to do that ourselves. We need
Yeah,
to tap
yeah,
in, right?
yeah, yeah.
So Steve Jobs probably got killed by the radiation from his own machines, which he invented the term laptop. He used to keep it on his lap, and then it radiated his pancreas.
Oh my God!
so-
No wonder he got cancer and all that because of the radiation.
Yeah. He kind of saved himself by going on a lot of fasts and things like that. But after a while, when his purpose was done, his physical vessel didn't have enough power to go on, which is why we say don't awaken the Kundalini without a guru. So
Yes,
Steve
amazing,
Jobs came to India and he kind of awakened the Kundalini.
Wow.
That's how he got burnt out by it.
Wow.
So it needs to be done under the
under the supervision of a
Supervision of a
guru,
guru,
because
right.
you don't want to do, you don't want to awakening.
There are lots of courses now online where you don't have access to the guru. So you can
Absolutely.
do it, and then the guru will be, or you can only meet the guru on YouTube. But that doesn't work.
So here you have a WhatsApp group where the student can reach out to you and you can coach
Yeah.
them and guide them.
I invest
Walk-
in my students. I mean, like my guru invested in me, I'm invested in my students, and I can do that because of the energy field. I'm able to help so many people. There's a time distortion. How time is experienced by a normal person is not how a yogi experiences time. Because we see expanded time. There's just time for everything.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
amazing,
It's a
yeah.
different world that
Even
happens.
my own experience, like I've seen many gurus who are like who have airtight compartments and they don't have time. Oh, they can give you only 20-minute slots, and even today for this interview, we are doing this in Mysore in his place. This is like such a beautiful place, and we were a little running late, and he said like, oh, I have a lot of time. I was like really surprised to hear that. And also, you had switched off all the lights downstairs,
Yeah.
and we were supposed to do there. And I said, like, can we do lights and all? He said, no lights. Can you share that for
This
all
is
the?
very important to realize that our body is light sensitive. Every part of our skin has something called melanin, and the melanin absorbs light. And what it does with that light is influence your biology in various ways. I won't get into it because it's a lot of science, but there's a researcher called Dr. Jack Cruz. Not a researcher, he's also a neurosurgeon, and that's why he did real good research. Because research is often botched because of the investor. It is costly, and the one who pays for it is the one who wants a certain result.
Yeah,
They,
yeah.
they give that certain result, but then if you read between the lines, like he did, he found out how light harms the human body. And
Wow.
I've been studying his work.
Wow.
And I think everyone should. He's got a blog that is very nerdy, but because I'm a former scientist, I can understand it.
Wow.
Because that's what I did. I was studying quantum physics, and I was going to do research in it until I found yoga has much better ways to research.
More than quantum physics.
A practical
Wow.
approach, because
Wow.
that's what my guru inculcated in me, in my head, and I was like, we can't mathematically explore the universe.
Wow.
You know.
Wow. Amazing.
So
amazing.
that's when I said, I will explore it physically.
Yeah.
And that's what
And
it is.
you're the first person who said like no lights, and I want natural light, and we are doing this outside. It's this beautiful place where you still teach martial arts.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he teaches martial arts too.
Yeah, this is the
and
place
This
where
is the
we-
place where he teaches.
Why
and-
is the floor red? Because even if they bleed, it's all right.
Amazing, amazing. And one question I wanted to ask while talking about karma, you said that it is possible to wipe out karma. Can you please explain? Because that is a big thing which plagues a lot of people. Oh, it's my bad karma that I'm going through this, and they see that it's nothing can be changed because it's destiny. Can you tell a little bit how?
Karma is wrongly understood. The word simply means action, nothing else.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
But we understand it as a system of tit for tat, cosmic tit for tat.
Yeah.
Somebody's keeping score and then doing something back to you. That's how it's become now in the popular
Yeah.
understanding.
And karma has been legalized in all the languages, like even in like
Like a
American-
consequence, right?
Yeah.
Karma is a punishment or a consequence.
yeah.
But that's not really what it
Yeah.
is. That is an entirely.
I want to share one nice. We did a tour and we had one dance tour, and they took the picture of a dancer doing some pose like this, and then they put it in one of the restaurants. Oh, tipping is a good karma. Like that, they did that. So which was like
Now, karma is marketing.
karma is
Oh my God,
exactly,
sorry.
exactly. So, but can you tell what real karma is and how you said like you can really change the karma?
It's the quality of your actions is what is called karma. So the quality of your actions is determined by how you think about it.
Wow.
That's it. That's your karma. How you think about it, that's your karma. If you're able to change how you think about something, the quality of your actions about it can change.
Amazing.
That's all karma is, nothing else. So there are many kinds of karma. When I feel guilty about something I've done, then I invite something called a runanubandha, which is a kind of karma where I will go and get attached to the person who's angry with me and I'm guilty, and that energy sits together, and then it's an abusive relationship.
Oh my goodness.
So
Oh my
you
goodness.
just have to change the way you think about it. It's gone.
Wow. Wow.
You make decisions, you know.
Amazing, amazing. So, Guruji, many of my followers are all musicians, music students, and our carnaticlessons.com, it's full of students who are in various fields. Can you give them some good tip how they can better themselves in music and, of course, in life?
I mean, musicians, it's so beautiful that you have the ability to do Nada Yoga.
Absolutely.
Right? Nada
yeah.
Yoga is the yoga of vibration. If you're able to create higher and higher vibrations in yourself, then you can transmit that without any sadhana on the part of the audience. They can also get that energy.
Amazing, amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what these great musicians like M.S. Subbulakshmi and all had the influence. Like you were talking about Bob Marley and like,
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's only restricted to India, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Nada Yoga is a worldwide phenomenon where how music can touch the hearts and souls of people. But we need to be tuned into that spirit. And we need to be very clear what is our emotion, what is our rasa.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly,
I mean,
exactly.
what is the rasa we want to evoke in the
Yeah,
audience?
yeah. And I always tell my students, you need to have a pure heart to produce pure music.
Correct.
And you need to empty all the, the things you have in your heart to.
Because how you feel is how you'll vibrate, and that's how your music will be.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
some music
exactly.
you just can't relate to it. It causes stress.
Yeah, exactly.
But some music elevates you to a next divine level. Why is that?
Exactly.
Because the person, the musician, is in that zone. They've gotten into that spiritual
absolutely.
zone. So the more sadhana we do, the more we can get into the spiritual zone. That's why it's
Exactly.
important to practice.
No,
the sadhana.
I definitely tell all my students learning yoga and learning Sanskrit are two basic requisites if you really want to do Nada Yoga.
For sure.
These are the two. And here is a great opportunity.
Sanskrit is the most. I mean, not only Sanskrit, even Tamil. They are based on the 8 Vagdevis.
Wow.
So they reside at your throat, in your throat chakra, and they sit around with 8 petals coming out of your throat. And they are Vashini, Kameshwari, Modini, Vimala, Aruna, Jaini, Sarveshwari, Kalini. These are the 8 Vagdevis. And it's constantly rotating around here. So if you shrink your throat energy, then you don't have the blessings of the Vagdevis. There are also the Ashtamatrikas, which are the different sounds that come out in Sanskrit. Well, like a k, k, g, g, ng is one sound where you're making a mudra with your tongue to say that.
Wow.
Yeah. Ch, ch, j, ch, n, you're touching the ends of your teeth, that's another mudra. And like that, there are 8 different matrikas producing different energy in your body when you speak it. So that's why Sanskrit words, mantras, chants, bija mantras. We have this concept called bija mantra, where a particular mantra, like go, it's a bija, and it can create something,
Wow.
a feeling of
Yeah.
urgency, right? When I said go, that's English. It's just the meaning, but even the sound, right? In Sanskrit, the word go would be to empower yourself.
Yeah, there's an interesting concept called sound semantics, and where they do this frequencies of the sound, which creates geometric patterns. It's called sound semantics.
Amazing.
And this is exactly what Guruji is referring here. When you have the Sanskrit mantras, like Om, you say that creates like a pattern outside. So
No, I had a very strict music teacher, right? She would make me sing only sa.
Only sa,
for 2 months. And only sa, till your sa becomes crystal clear, then only she'll teach you re.
oh, amazing.
So-
And this is a great tip for all the students out there because once they join, they want to learn. What is the next? What next? What next
You
syndrome?
have to master the sound. You have to master the sound.
So this is a great tip for all the
Take
students.
what it takes to master the sound, and when you play that one sound, people will respond
Exactly.
because you practiced it so long.
Oh my God, this is amazing. So it's such a pleasure, Guruji, and thanks for taking time and doing this interview for all the students. And we really thank you for doing there. If there's, I'm sure many will reach out to you, and I hope they all, they know the value of what they are getting. Like it's like such a. One last thing before I forget. You know a lot of shastras and all that. Even that this Sanskrit and shastras. How did you learn all this? Even that you learned with.
Celestial help. Okay, so all the shastras have been written by a particular rishi or a particular person from the Nagaloka, like Patanjali, Some of the Shastras have come from Devi herself, some came from Haigriva, so there are different deities. Even
No,
the
it
Tibetans.
takes years and years and years to learn them,
No,
right?
you had to propitiate the deity, which means if you get a connection with the deity, a direct line, you understand the whole Shastra.
Amazing.
That's how it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Only
it's
then you should read the book. Otherwise, it's like reading a recipe. You don't know what to do. You have to cook it.
Amazing, Guruji. Thank you so much for doing this for us and taking time with your busy schedule. Truly appreciate it, and I can't wait to do the course myself. And I'm sure there are many out there who are going to take advantage of what you're
Thanks
teaching.
for being so enthusiastic. I love it.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you so much. Namaste.